All right, y'all. So we finally got some confirmation on who these last two characters are that are coming into Marvel Strike Force here. And as you can see behind me, one of those characters is going to be Morbius, and then the other character is going to be Dr. Voodoo. Some are saying Brother Voodoo, same character. Dr. Voodoo here is going to be coming to Marvel Strike Force. Now, these two new characters are going to be introducing a new faction to the game called the Dark Hunter faction, along with Morbius as well as Dr. Voodoo. We're going to be getting 3 new reworks as well. That will be to Ghost Rider, Elsa Bloodstone, and then also Mordo. Do want to point out that although these 3 characters are getting reworked, only 2 of them are going to be a part of the Dark Hunter team. Now, right behind me, I am playing some footage in the background here. Want to show off some of the stats that these characters are going to have here. This is Morbius. Keep in mind that on the health is actually going to be increased by an additional 40% because of Ghost Rider's passive. So whatever you see right there, 525, this is with Star Tech on. You are going to increase that by 40%. So multiply that times 1.4. That's going to be their actual health in the game here. But yes, those 3 new characters are getting reworked. Only 2 of them are going to have the Dark Hunter tag, and that is going to be Ghost Rider and also Elsa Bloodstone. Mordo, although he is getting a rework, he is not going to have that Dark Hunter tag, but he is reworked so that he can be aligned with more what the meta is right now, and that is who they are currently using the other 4 Dark Hunter characters with at the moment. Now, if you're counting, that is going to be 10 characters that we're going to be working on during this patch, right? So we already have Young Avengers, and the characters are getting reworked into 2 new characters, and then now we have this additional 5 characters, 2 new characters, and then 3 additional reworks there that are going down. Well, now later on, we are going to be breaking down some footage here. This Dark Hunter team is supposed to be the next team that's going to be beating Heroes for Hire. Now, the idea for this team was that this is supposed to be the non-legendary option that you have available for you to be able to beat the Heroes for Hire team. So that's the reason why they're introducing this team right now. This team also as well, this is based on dev information that was shared with us. This team is also supposed to be able to beat most of the other teams that are in the game. They're kind of a step below Weapon X, but they're supposed to be able to beat all the other teams in the game and are with as a war offense team. They're supposed to be able to beat all the other teams in the game. With respect to Young Avengers that's coming out this patch, they're not going to be able to beat Young Avengers, but they are going to be able to beat Heroes for Hire and everything else. So yeah, we're going to talk about the kits here. We're going to go over some footage with them going against Heroes for Hire, going over some footage with them beating the Eternals as well. And then of course, we'll talk about how they're going to be able to beat Heroes for Hire moving forward. So we're kind of taking a look at that right now. So as you kind of peruse through these stats here, the first kit that I actually wanted to take a look at was Morbius here. And as you can see, so in terms of traits, Morbius is a villain, city controller, mystic, and a Dark Hunter character. Now, if we take a look at his passive ability, which is a living vampire, the living vampire here, gaining 30% piercing. He's also going to gain 20% drain for self and all Dark Hunter allies. In War Offense, unspawned, if this character has 3 or more Dark Hunter allies, apply blind to the highest of 4 damage hero city character enemies, right? So for counting that's most likely going to be everybody except for Luke Cage, because he's going to, every other character other than Luke Cage has higher damage. So that's going to be Iron Fist, Misty, Colleen, and then Shang-Chi. They are going to get that blind. Now, you're probably asking the question, how in the world are they going to have high enough focus in order to be able to do so? If this character has 4 or more hero city enemies, he's going to gain 300% focus. So that's how he's going to be able to do it. And then he's also getting an additional 40% focus from Ghost Rider as well, because Ghost Rider also boosts Mystic allies, their focus by 40% as well. In addition to that, in addition to Morbius's passive, he's also going to be gaining 30% damage for self, and then also all Dark Hunter allies. Now, the ultimate ability for Morbius is massive. The energy cost is 5 out of 7, but I do want to point out that because of Dr. Voodoo's passive, if we scroll all the way down to here, with his passive unspawned, if this character has 3 or more Dark Hunter allies, he's going to generate 2 ability energy for 4 random Dark Hunter allies or self that were not at full energy. So that would include Morbius. That means that Morbius is actually going to get to do this ultimate on turn 1. And what this ultimate does is it attacks the primary target for 450% damage plus a flip defense down and deflect. So I don't think you're going to want to flip defense down. I think what they mean here is that you're going to flip defense up to defense down, and you're going to be flipping deflect. I think that's what they mean. If you're going to be flipping defense up, and then you're going to flip the deflect is what they mean here. And then you're going to chain to 4 adjacent targets for 310% damage, flip defense down and deflect. On War Offense, if this character has 3 Dark Hunter allies, he's going to apply trauma. So this is really the big one, right? So here we're seeing trauma again. I feel like the devs made a mention of this, that really to counter heroes for hire, one of the biggest debuffs that you're going to need to do this is going to be trauma. So we already saw this with Weapon X. Weapon X is applying trauma. Now we're seeing here with this Dark Hunter team that you're applying trauma, heal block, and also disrupted for 2 turns to Hero City primary target, and apply trauma and heal block for 2 turns to all Hero City secondary targets. Counterattack will break this chain, and then on War Offense, its attack cannot be countered. Counterattack and also cannot be blocked. That's a big deal as well. And special ability, gonna get this on turn 1. Probably won't use this on turn 1 though, but will attack the primary and adjacent targets for 250% damage. Apply 3 bleed to the primary and the secondary targets. And then with the basic ability, you're attacking the primary target of 200% for 200%. You're stealing 10% from the primary target and redistributing to self. This bypasses heal block, and in War Offense, he will also apply 2 bleeds. Now, if we look at the developer notes and what they say about Morbius here, so characters defined in traits, high focus or hit points. Morbius is a controller with high focus and damage. He can reliably apply bleeds, flip defense up, which is what we saw, right? It said defense down, but flip defense up and flip deflect with the high focus. Summary, Morbius is key for taking down powerful Hero City enemies in war. And in ISO 8, they recommended Striker. And I actually agree with this, and this is the reason why. This is specifically powerful on Morbius, since all of his bleed effects and health steal are also applied on the ISO bonus attack. So that's pretty big, right? Being able to get that additional bonus attack there, stealing some more health. That's a pretty big deal. And then they also mentioned some extra commentary here. With the massive amount of negative effects that Morbius puts out, he synergizes quite well with Ghost Rider's speed bar. Remember, with Ghost Rider's passive ability here, whenever you apply debuffs to the enemy team, that he speeds up Mystic allies by 3%. So that's the reason. That's what they're talking about here with Ghost Rider's passive ability, and the reason why Morbius works really well, because Morbius applies so many negative effects that are there. All right, let's look at the next character, which is Dr. Voodoo trait. So he's a hero, global support mystic, and of course he has that Dark Hunter tag. Again, now passive ability here, pretty big one. Hungan Supreme. Pretty sure I said that wrong. All right, but gain 5% speed for each stack of death proof up to a maximum of 25. So I believe that this stack of death proof here may be on the enemy. This is kind of unclear to me right now. I'm gonna have to take a look at what this means. I'm moving forward. This might also be a death proof on him specifically. So we'll clarify what that means a little bit later on here. But when this character drops below 50% max health, he will gain 1 death proof up to a maximum of 5. When an ally dies, gain 1 death proof up to a maximum of 5. Apply offense up to self and all Dark Hunter allies. So more additional damage whenever there's a death proof available there, whenever they have death proof. While 5 enemies have speed up, all allies gain 30% crit chance, and then also 30% crit damage as well. So remember Shang-Chi, whenever he does his ultimate ability, he applies a speed up to every Hero City ally, or all his allies, right? So whenever they get that speed up, whenever Shang-Chi does that, he's pretty much basically acting against himself or acting against the team, because now they're going to have this increased crit damage and crit chance, which is going to be big for characters like Elsa Bloodstone, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And then in War Offense, on spawn, if this character has 3 or more Dark Hunter allies, we talked about this already, he's going to be generating the 2 ability energy for 4 random Dark Hunter allies or self that were not in full energy. Now, one thing I will say about this, let's say 2 ability energy for 4 random Dark Hunter allies. There's only 3 additional. There's only 3 allies that he has right now. So I feel this is a little bit of a call out here to probably be a future character that will be coming to the game. Maybe Blade. We don't know. We don't know. But I thought it was interesting that they put 4 random Dark Hunter allies here. But yeah, that's pretty cool that he's going to be able to do that. Then let's go to his ultimate ability, Soul Manipulation. Energy cost 4 out of 8. This one I like a lot. Steal 20% health from all enemies and redistribute 150% health stolen to all Dark Hunter allies. Now, that's the one caveat to this right here. If you're using Mordo on this team, Mordo is not going to get that redistributed health. He kind of gets kicked to the curb at this point in time when it comes to that health steal or redistribution of that health. This bypasses heal block. Clear all negative effects from all Dark Hunter allies. Once again, Mordo, sorry dude, you're not getting any buffs cleared off of you, buddy. And then in War Offense, apply immunity to all Mystic allies. Hey, Mordo gets some love here with immunity being applied to him. Hey, there we go. And then this attack also ignores death proof. So meaning if he is going to kill an enemy here, death proof won't matter. So that's actually pretty good. And then special ability. I like this one a lot because when you're looking at all the characters that are on this team, I think Voodoo is the only one where I'm like, he actually has some solid usage outside of War Offense, right? So take a look at the special ability here. Apply ability block and defense down to the primary target, and then apply defense down to the adjacent target. So you can actually use this outside of War Offense, right? Ability block, defense down. Mainly the ability block could be really helpful. Maybe if you want to use another character in your Mystic Doom raids, if maybe one dies and maybe you want to sub them out. I think New Warriors and Eternals are probably going to take the cake right now for you. But hey, if you want to try some other characters, hey, Dr. Voodoo is probably one of them that you can try because he does have that health steal on his ultimate, even though it won't benefit the rest of your team. That can still be used, and now you're also having the ability block with a special. You can also use that as well. Additionally, he will mind control 2 adjacent enemies to tap the primary target, and the control enemies gain 30% damage for this attack. He's barriering self and all Dark Hunter allies. Once again, sorry, Mordo Boo Boo. By 30% of this character's max health, plus barrier adjacent non-Dark Hunter ally. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so barrier non-adjacent Dark Hunter allies. There. Hey, Mordo's still getting some love if you put him adjacent to him. 20% of this character's max health, and then on War Offense, this attack cannot be blocked as well. And then on the basic, transfer 1 death proof from primary target to self, attack the primary target for 300% damage, and then heal self and all Dark Hunter allies by 8% of this character's max health as well. So that's pretty good. Now, developer notes, higher health, higher resistance, great survivability, and is capable of breaking down characters who rely on death proof. Which we looked at in the kit, so that probably explains the passive a little bit more. Healer, the bonus active healing from ISO 8 will make Dr. Voodoo's basic heal more powerful. Okay, so they recommended healer on him. We'll have to check that out ourselves to see exactly what we want to put on Voodoo ourselves, right? But they're recommending healer on him. Dr. Voodoo's restorative abilities target Dark Hunter allies, so he's the most powerful with his Dark Hunter team. And an extra commentary, Dr. Voodoo is one of the few characters that has an ability that can ignore death proof. That's a special ability that will ignore death proof. So that's a pretty big deal. Now, if we're looking at some of these other characters that are now getting some reworks here, so Elsa's rework, getting some pretty decent stat boosts here, increasing the base health stat by 32%. That kind of just puts her more in kind of like the median range, right, of where the rest of the characters are in the game. Keep in mind again that this is going to be boosted by 1.4 in War or 1.4 with Ghost Rider. Extra damage here, 29%. Increased armor, not so much on the focus, but she doesn't really need a lot of focus to do her attacks. She's pretty more so raw pure damage, so she doesn't really need the focus. And then she increasing her resistance stat by 29%. Now, in terms of her abilities that got reworked here, it's only her ultimate and her basic that got her rework, and a little bit of her passive too, sorry. So with her passive, she gains 20% accuracy per supernatural or Dark Hunter ally. So that means that she will get 20% for Mordo, and then another 60% for all her Dark Hunter allies. So it's going to be 180%, right? On the accuracy for her. And then with her ultimate ability, 280% damage plus 45% damage per supernatural or Dark Hunter ally. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. Now, this one right here it's kind of, I don't know, the scenario where she'll be able to kill the character and have them not be able to revive. I feel like this is going to be more nuanced, having her being able to use her ultimate, because she gets it on turn 1, unless you're kind of saving this, right? Maybe you're saving this ability to use it at a different point in time when it matters, but I feel like you're going to want to use this initially anyway. So I feel like it's kind of nuanced, being able to have this ultimate go off and kill an enemy and then not have, and once she kills them, then they not revive. I just feel like that's very nuanced. So probably not happening often as much as you want to, but it's nice that it's there just in case it does happen if there's a long drawn out matchup. On War Offense, if this character has 3 or more Dark Hunter allies, this attack cannot be blocked. Also, I forgot too that she is going to have that increased crit damage because of Dr. Voodoo, right? So that also may help for her to be able to delete some characters there also. And then she gets some additional stat bonuses, extra piercing, extra damage on her special, and then also on her basic as well. And it looks like a Ghost Rider, he gets some increased stats. His stats are actually increased quite a bit here. Increased health stat 15%, increase. I think when I looked at the stat table, that stat boost went up to about 664, and that puts him like top 10 health in the game. Keep in mind though that Dr. Voodoo, other characters are still going to have higher health than him because of the 1.4 boost. The stats on Ghost Rider are already reflected based on the passive because he increases his own 40%, but that's already factored in to his stats when you're looking at it. Just keep in mind that other characters are going to have higher stat. Hope that wasn't confusing. Ask me questions if it was. All right, so increased stat 15%, but let's look at the kit. Let's talk about that. And the kit, not really anything crazy there. Here you're getting 40% extra focus. So he's given that. He's getting extra 40% focus. Mystic allies are also getting extra 40% focus as well. When a negative effect is applied to an enemy, fill speed bar for of self and all supernatural and Dark Hunter allies by 3%. That's obviously a big deal. So that's on the passive. And then with the ultimate, I think it's only ultimate and passive that were changed here. If charged, his attack cannot be blocked. He usually gains a charge though, I think after an ally dies. So let's say that Mordo probably dies, then he'll gain that charge and he'll gain an ability to gain the drain. So that's pretty important. But yeah, those are pretty much it for the kit based on Ghost Rider here. And then Mordo, only thing that changes for Mordo obviously are massive stat boosts, right, to make him a little bit more in line with where the game is right now. 49% on the health, damage 38%, armor 50%, focus 46%, resistance 55%. But with the special ability for Mordo now, his attack cannot be blocked, and if he has 4 or more mystic allies, the chance to blind additional targets increased by 75%. I think Mordo didn't really need much of a kit rework because his kit's already really good in my opinion. It's just a matter of his stats probably weren't where they need to be in the game. So actually I'm fine with just this being the change there. Now, if you're looking at probably other potential 5th members on the team, you could probably get some usage out of Doctor Strange, but I don't think that you're going to want to use Doctor Strange against Heroes for Hire, although he can flip those positive effects to negative effects because he's not getting a rework to his focus. Yes, the extra 40% focus to him from Ghost Rider could be helpful, but I still think that you want to get a boost on specifically Doctor Strange himself in order for that to really work, because you're going up against 525% resistance with Heroes for Hire ally characters. I don't think that really bringing in Doctor Strange really makes a difference. I think you could probably get more usage out of a character maybe like Silver Surfer, because Silver Surfer can remove the charges right with his ultimate, and of course he'll get that nice little focus check and focus boost. And then of course also maybe Doom if you're going in for damage, or if you want just somebody else that can take that Misty Knight ability block, right? So if you want Surfer to take that, if you want Doom to take that, if you want another one, if you don't want any of your other characters to take that, then maybe I don't know if they're gonna have the higher health than Voodoo, but maybe they may have the higher health, and that could help out to take maybe the ability block for Misty Knight, depending on where your Silver Surfer, where your Doom are in terms of health wise. But that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at some footage here. I wanted to show you the footage against the Eternals. They actually beat the Eternals. It was Eternals with Nebula and Gamora and Adam Warlock. But what I really feel like you probably want to see, right, is a footage against them against Heroes for Hire. So let's take a look at this footage here with them against Heroes for Hire, and let's talk about it a little bit. So obviously, what you're going to see here is you're going to have. Well, obviously you can see right there what happened, right? Morbius with a spawn. On spawn, he blinds the 4 highest damage Hero City characters. That was everybody except for Luke Cage. Luke Cage does his special, and then of course that procs Colleen Wing. Colleen goes after Misty Knight, then goes after Voodoo because Voodoo has the highest health on the team. And of course Shang-Chi goes now with his ultimate. And that's going to give them the speed up, right? And whenever they get that speed up, remember that increase that Voodoo gives all the rest of the characters on his team, that increased crit damage. This is just funny though, just watching this right now, that's everybody kind of like queuing up and gearing up and attacking. and not being able to hit. Well, Colleen already lost the blind, but just watching Iron Fist do the ultimate and then missing was just funny as heck, man. All right, this is Morbius. He's doing his ultimate. You're gonna start to see him apply the trauma. Okay, to everybody here. So started off with Colleen and chained all the way around to everybody here. As they are applying, as all of these negative effects are applied, you saw the speed up. The team is getting the speed up from that as well. Yo, I love this animation from Ghost Rider. Pretty clutch. And then after a while, man, you're gonna start to see them kind of just drop like flies, right? Like after a little bit here, this is Voodoo. I think this is a special ability. Yep, special ability because he mind controls Shang-Chi to hit Luke Cage. So that's his special. You can see that trauma. Colleen is pretty much basically almost done, right? She takes another turn here. She's going to lose that charge. Another turn happens here. She loses that charge. Shang-Chi is also probably is going to lose that charge again. Lose a charge as well here. Yep. That charge is gone off of Shang. I mean, it's... Now, this is an even matchup right now. I think from what the dev said is that you're probably... they're probably gonna have a better chance with a closely built Dark Hunter team going up against Heroes for Hire. I don't think this team is gonna do very well in punch-ups, is what we're seeing right now. I don't think that you're gonna see that happen with punch-ups at the moment. But they're holding their own right now against this team, right? They're doing really well. They're still in control. Yeah, they have some debuffs on them, but they still have pretty good health. Ghost Rider died and gave an actually Ghost Rider dying was actually okay, because when he died, he gave ability energy to Elsa and then also gave ability energy to Mordo. So this matchup is kind of fine now, right? I mean, and they kind of just mold them down from here, guys. I mean, it's really kind of amazing what they're able to do. War offense wise, this is his ultimate. He's gonna steal some ability. He's gonna steal health here. That completely wipes out these three characters, leaves them with just Misty Knight left. I mean, it's insane, right? So good team right now. If you're probably saying to yourself, hey, I mean, this is going to be pretty much a war patch. It's a war defense team, a war offense team. What should I work on here? I think ultimately you're still going to want to prioritize working on your raid teams if you haven't finished off your raid teams as of yet. I think that there is some viability maybe with Dr. Voodoo being able to use him on war as maybe probably one of the characters that you can probably slot in and plug and play in the Mystic Doom raids, but you don't need him, right? So I still think that overall, most likely you're going to want to prioritize raids, your arena, and then I would say war offense is probably going to be the next route to go in. So I probably would focus then on this Dark Hunter team and then probably put Young Avengers as your final work through option, because I prioritize war defense sort of last on my list here. But good team right now. Dark Hunter they look pretty good. I'm excited about some of the reworks that are happening here with this team right now. I'm happy that that Mordo is actually getting some love. I like him as a character, and I think it's been long overdue that he's been able to be used to get in the game. So listen, let me know what your guys thoughts are. How do you feel about this team coming to the game? Are you excited about them? Are you going to shelve them? What are your thoughts with that as concerned? But appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the links that are down below. Twitch, Discord, all that jazz, guys. Follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming tonight. This could probably be most likely some content here in regards to probably Young Avengers release or at least Echo's release. So come check me out on Twitch, guys. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe. Woo! Oh, Dark Hunter, man. Ooh, they look good. They look good. I'm not going to lie to you. They look pretty good. Probably not going to work on them immediately. We got some time, but yeah, look good.